Okay, good. Okay, Clerk Paul, could we call committee of whole to order, please?
Lennon?
Here.
Ramirez? Here. Reardon? Here. Pate?
Here.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Here.
Avila? Noack?
Here.
6 present, Mayor.
Do I have a motion?
I will make a motion to excuse Alderman Avila and Alderman Santoy.
Second.
Motion to excuse Alderman Avila and Santoy by Lennon, seconded by Ruiz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we have one item on the open agenda. It's the 2021 draft budget distribution. Finance Director Dash.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening,
Could you
Alderman.
turn your mic on?
Sure. Can everybody hear me? Good evening, Alderman. And first thing I want to do is just go over the packets that you have in front of all of you. The biggest packet is our 2001 draft of the budget. That's the citywide budget, not only the general fund, but all the funds that the city manages. The second smaller packet is the reports that we provided to the Budget Committee meeting back on the 4th of February, giving them a projection of where we think the year is going to end for 3 major funds: the general fund, the Berwyn Securitization Fund, as well as capital projects. Of course, the differences between 2 or 3 weeks ago versus the final budget draft are within $100,000 either way, as we're capturing all the year-end expenditures. That's primarily the difference, but it gives you the other differences that I want to point out is that our existing system, we're not able to project out 2022 through 2024 for the remaining city funds. That's an ongoing process that we're working on, but at least it gives you some sort of outlook in the forward years through 2024. And then finally, the smallest packet is just our handout illustrating some key points to the budget draft summary. So first, we want to rewind and go back to November, where we, with maybe 3 or 4 months of transactions to process and data to evaluate from various sources, including the Illinois Department of Revenue, Cook County, as well as transactions that we've captured in our system. We had, a better outlook than in August, but as you can see, back in November, we had forecasted perhaps a loss of somewhere around $2.6 million for the general fund. As 3 months later that we've been able to process transactions 3 to 4 months later, you go to the next page, and the outlook looks less severe. There's more room for optimism as far as the data that we're receiving and the transactions that we've been able to post, to where the expected loss, we still have year-end final audit to process to go through. We're expecting a $1.4 million loss for 2020. And of course, you know, some of the things to consider when we're looking at that loss, the revenue loss is at around $3.6 million. And let me just go through some bullet points there. You know, the key areas that have impacted our revenues come from our fines and fees that we're assessing, but our property taxes came close to the sorry, I should watch my distance here. Our property taxes have come close to the what's expected in the budget, as well as with, you know, unfortunately in some cases our ambulance billing, you know, those revenues were well beyond what was expected, but given the reality of our COVID pandemic, it's a dubious variance, obviously. But those revenue results came in much higher than expected. And then obviously, you know, I'm sorry, the real estate transfer, sales, and state taxes, the final months actually came closer to 2019 levels. We did not suffer as severe an impact as we anticipated in the summer months. So we also we had an expense reduction of $2.3 million, you know, working with our department heads, as well as, you know, being able to go take measures to reduce our cost and work from within, and obviously putting a hold on planned positions, on filling those, leaving those positions unfilled. Also, with the facility closing and city recreation program closing, that contributed, but a major contributor also to the expense reduction is the city being able to negotiate favorable insurance premiums. Going into 2020, we projected a 10% increase in health insurance, but the actual premium came in at within 1%. So that was a big contributor to the expenses, the positive expense variance. So again, the expected loss of $1.4 million, our general fund, you know, through years of being able to build that fund balance, is be absorbed, and the city can still be at the required 16% policy requirement. Even with the $1.4 million loss, the fund balance is 20% of the projected 2021 budget expenditures. Now, with that being said, that information that we've captured and into our projection serves as a basis for projecting 2021, because we've received some more optimistic evidence. We're comfortable with projecting a modest deficit for 2021 of about $365,000. Again, this was a process that began back in May, and we, you know, with our department heads, everybody worked very hard at going line by line to identify any challenges, any opportunities for cost reduction to lead us to being comfortable with this modest deficit. The forward years of 2022 through 2024, we are expecting a balanced budget in those years where revenues are consistent with the expenditures, and those and, you know, one other thing we want to point out is that there are discussions in Congress, in our legislature, as well as federal government, I mean the new administration, that there could be some stimulus relief. We're not budgeting for that in 2021, but just bear in mind that those discussions are being placed, and of course we will we'll wait and see what happens there, but it's important to know that there's more positive discussions as far as municipalities are concerned, as far as the revenue recovery that we suffered in 2020. And of course, yes, as we're reiterating, we have a reasonable basis to project our revenues being in line with our expenses, especially in the forward years of 2022 through 2024. Only other thing I wanted to point out is the budget timeline. A budget hearing is scheduled for 6:30, March the 9th on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. And then after that, this budget ordinance will be up for an approval vote by City Council at 8 p.m. on the 9th on the same day on March 9th. Again, by all means, go through the packets that I provided. I encourage you to reach out and contact me if you should have any questions regarding the information we provided. But with that being said, I just want to thank Andrea, our financial advisor, Rashid Jones, as well as Ruth, and the department heads who really worked hard for a period of at least 10 months in doing their best to generate this budget, which many of you might not think is very favorable, but there is a lot of energy, time, and effort. And as well as I mentioned, the budget committee for their guidance in helping us through this process. I really appreciate everybody's efforts there. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Hey,
Yeah.
Ben, can you elaborate a little bit about the stimulus relief that you mentioned right now? Is it something that, how much do you think it's going to be? What are the
It's
costs?
very hard to say.
We don't know. We've heard numbers that range anywhere from a little over $1 million to $30 million. We don't know what Berwyn share is going to be. So I've heard different formulas, so we're trying not to calculate what that's going to be at this point. That's why we haven't included it. And I think it was just presented today, if I'm not mistaken, in Congress. So we got to see how that plays out.
Yeah. And different from the CARES Act, where there was an allocation to the city and we actually physically received the money allocated to us. But yeah, it's still uncertain as far as federal. Yes,
Yes,
Alderman.
a quick question or clarification. So under revenue loss 3.6, the fourth point there, fines and fees suffered biggest impact. I know what the fees would be, but fines, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, people aren't driving as much, and obviously the enforcement, our public, are stepping back as far as enforcing those. So obviously, what we're used to in revenues in that regard.
That we're issuing less tickets, or we're not collecting as much?
No, it's issuing less. Correct.
Okay. Does that include the red light cameras? We're not getting as much as we were getting?
Actually, especially in the recent months, we are seeing similar revenues in 2019. Obviously, with the shelter in place, that the revenue softened there. But in recent months, we're seeing similar numbers in 2019.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Andrea. Take the packets home, and if you guys do have questions, feel free to call or email Ben. I have nothing else for open unless somebody has a question on the agenda. There's really not much. Most of it's informational. If there's no questions, then I'd ask for a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole.
So moved.
Avila by Lennon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You guys have it. Back in, I don't think that clock's right, is it?
15 minutes,
15? Okay.
16.
Please be reminded that the camera is still rolling.
Yeah, smoke. You're gonna start smoking.
So, Ralph, we're in a real squeaker.
Yeah.
It's nice to know we're equally liked.
There you go. Yeah, and, you know, I wanted to call you earlier, and I just got really delayed,
Yeah,
unfortunately, but, thank you, doing, this is a good campaign between both of us, you know, and whatever happens,
Yeah.
I should be successful, you know, but, you know, do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
actually,
No,
we called the county today.
No, the plow
They
came
hadn't
down
even
the
started
Yes.
counting the mail-in
He
ballots.
says,
They said
on
they
his
would
private property, he has
probably
landscape.
pick it up tomorrow.
One of the plows went over to landscaping and.
You should know
stuff there,
something
So,
soon.
and it's not a lot of money, but he says it's like $200 worth of damage.
okay,
If he wants to put a claim to, how would you do that?
okay.
Or what does he do?
Well, first of all, he should, does he have the information on the date and everything that happened?
Yeah.
He can either supply that to, I can give that to you and you can get it to me. Or you could just send it directly to me, but if you let me know when it's coming, so I would expect it, but,
Okay.
and then I'll have it
No, reached out to
processed.
us.
Okay.
The,
need
The
receipts or
Unified
something?
Command has been
Did he get did he get some kind of
in
bid
contact
or
with McNeil
well-
Hospital.
how does he estimating
He
that?
went to Home Depot and got the, the stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, I don't know if he still has the receipts because this was done over the summer.
Oh, that longer, okay.
Yeah, it was just like I said, they came by, when they were found in the alleys, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
As soon as the damage happened, he emailed me right away. Said,
Okay.
"Listen, they just left.
Well, were they
I got
getting
damage on my
100
property.
doses or 100
Plow,
vials?
my landscaping. I just put the
Really, because
landscaping in. Else I wouldn't
IDPH
really
told
care.
us that they would
But
only
what do
give
I
us
do?
a minimum of 100 vials.
Okay, and he doesn't
So
have, you
here-
don't think he has any of the
Yeah.
bills for,
How do you
yes,
how does
ask,
our
okay?
little group
Then
vaccinate
we'll put a
300?
claim in, we'll have a process, okay? Yeah, we'll do that because that's not a large amount that we're gonna, you know,
I think it was more.
well, no, but it's great, it's a large
It's
amount to
all
him,
gonna
but
work
what I
out.
meant with, the claim isn't a large amount where we're gonna have to, go through a lot to have it processed, okay? Okay, fine.
use the overhead projector, are we? Does Ben have another?
No, we should be done.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm feeling myself.
Okay.
Clerk Paul, can you call the council meeting in order, please?
Lennon?
Here.
Ramirez? Here. Reardon? Here. Fate?
Here.
Santoy?
Here.
Ruiz?
Here.
Avila?
Here.
Nowak?
Here.
8 present, Mayor.
Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and please remain standing? Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could all keep in our thoughts and prayers the men and women we have on the street tonight, and I would like to thank everybody for putting themselves forward yesterday on a rough election day. It was nice to see a lot of people get acclimated in the communities, and after what we saw happen yesterday, we hope that we can bring our community all back together again. Thank you. If anybody wishes to address the open forum from the audience, please step forward, state your name and address.
So I want to thank the 5,609 neighbors who voted in yesterday's election and those who sent in mail-in ballots. I also want to thank the independent candidates who ran on issues voters care about, who ran with integrity, and who engaged directly with voters. That's why, as of the current votes counted, once you tally up all the races, independents won 47% of the vote. So thank you for that, Berwyn. For people saying both sides played dirty, it was not the independent candidates sending out negative mailers full of lies, nor posting 15-year-old mugshots, nor being asked by Univision about corruption. It was DCOB. DCOB, during this election, you clearly showed Berwyn who you are. You showed that who you are when you touted phrases like the future is female while running 5 white males for 8 of the Alderanic seats. You showed who you are when instead of debating, you sent multiple fear-mongering mailers lying to voters that the independent candidates wanted to defund police. They never said that. They never ran on that. They never agreed to that. DCOB lied. And yesterday you really showed Berwyn who you are when you violated the sanctity of Election Day and sent dozens of men to polling places like Havlicek to intimidate voters and bully the volunteers of independent candidates. All of those bullies standing right next to your candidates, holding your palm cards and holding your signs. 3 of those men confronted and tried to make leave a youth leader, a brilliant young Latina deeply involved in our community. One of the men, Jose Roberto Maldonado, a police officer running for village president of Midlothian, showed up wearing police gear, like a taser and police gloves, actions that are clearly illegal. He confronted a volunteer who was a mother and had taken her young son to witness democracy in action. Maldonado stood in his mother's face without a mask and refused to put it on and mocked those who urged him to. Instead of witnessing democracy, that child witnessed his mom and volunteers being bullied for their political beliefs, ordered by the DCOB. Maldonado and other DCOB bullies stood right in front of volunteers to block them from passing out their literature. They pulled away voters who were talking to volunteers, they blocked the sidewalk, violated social distancing, and took over the corners like thugs. Your actions to suppress the vote are disgraceful. It's obvious that you don't think you can win on your own accord. You continue to show yourself as a political machine that you are. Some races are too close to call. But even if DCOB picks up more seats, you're not winners, because it will never be business as usual in Berwyn again. Berwyn residents won't let it be. They are watching you. Neighboring communities are watching. Major news outlets are watching. State representatives are watching. Lawyers and legal advocacy groups are watching. Community activism and civic engagement continues to grow in Berwyn, despite how much you try to shut it down, especially you, Mayor Lavero, and you, Alderman Scott Lennon. And I just want to make it very clear that no matter what the mail-in ballots show, this past year of activism and yesterday's election show that this is only the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you for your slanted facts once again. I think I was the one asked about corruption, nobody on your side. Thank you for your view. Anybody else for open forum? Anybody, Alderman, for open forum? No.
I'd like to make an announcement of my next town hall meeting.
Yes.
It's going to be Thursday, March 11th. It's going to be a Zoom meeting, and it's going to be at 6:30 PM.
Okay.
Mayor, can I get I'll send a request for the robocall, the reverse call to be made for the meeting?
Sure.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll just send it to Ruth as usual.
Put it together, send it through.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Item C1 then, please.
Item C1 are the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting and the regular City Council meeting of February 9th, 2021.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes for the Committee of the Whole and the regular council meeting that was held on February 9th, 2021.
Second.
Motion by Avila, seconded by Fate, to approve the Committee of the Whole minutes and the regular council minutes of February 9th, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item F1, please.
Sure. Item F1 is a report from the mayor, a proclamation regarding the disaster for the storm occurring February 13th through February 14th.
Make a motion that we adopt the proclamation as the corporate authorities and to sign it and pass it as way passage.
Second. Motion by Avila, seconded by Noack, to adopt the proclamation and fix the necessary signatures placed on its way to passage. All those in favor, I'll call the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon? Aye. Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Alderman Santoy? What's the last one?
Aye.
Thank you. Alderman Ruiz?
Aye. March, just real quick, there's a couple typos in there. Is this the final version, or do you want me to send you those?
I didn't type it.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a couple typos. Do you want me to just email them?
We didn't, yeah, we'll check it before we
Okay.
sign the original.
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item I1, please.
Item I1 is a communication from Alderman Fate, reconsideration of a handicap parking space.
Yes, after further review and discussion with the neighbors, unfortunately, she has a fire hydrant right on the edge of her property, and there's a 15-foot yellow line, and this lady really needs this spot, and the neighbor put a letter of approval that she has no problem if we have to go a few feet onto her space with a sign. So be my motion to reconsider this and approve this handicap spot for 2620 Harvey.
Second.
Motion by Fate, seconded by Lennon, to reconsider and approve the handicap spot at 2620 Harvey, also abutting the neighbor's property. All those in favor, call the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon? Aye. Fate?
Aye.
Santoy?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J1, please.
J1 is a communication from the city attorney regarding 19 WC 019610.
Make a motion that we concur with city attorney in settling case number 19 WC 019610 in the amount of $30,665.31.
Second. Motion by Avila, second by Noack, to concur with city attorney and settle the above captioned workers' comp case in the amount of $30,665.31. All those in favor, on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon? Aye. Fate?
Aye.
Santoy?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J2, please.
J2 is a communication from the city attorney regarding 20 WC01 3822.
Make a motion that we concur with city attorney in settling case number 20WC013822 in the amount of $6,000.
Second.
Motion by Avila, second by Noack, to concur with the recommendation of City Attorney Batuka in selling the captioned case in the amount of $6,000. All those in favor, and the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon? Fate?
Aye.
Santoy?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes.
Motion carried. Item J3.
J3 is a communication from Finance Director Dace regarding the 2021 draft budget.
Make a motion that we approve this, accept this as informational.
Second.
Motion accepts as informational by Avila, seconded by Lennon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I,
Opposed?
Mayor, can I ask a quick question about this?
Yep.
The announcements for the legal notice, is that still done in the Lawndale News paper, or do we use a different newspaper to?
I published it in the Lawndale News.
I'm sorry?
I published it in the Lawndale News.
Oh, you already published it? Are we mandated to use that newspaper, or do we have an option to change it?
The only thing that we're supposed to do is do it in a paper with a certain subscription, that's all, amount of subscription. Am I correct, Clerk Paul?
Yes, Mayor.
So does Suburban Life qualify then?
The Lawndale News has the lowest rates.
Well, I mean, I appreciate us saving money, but I think getting to more of our constituents
We
should be.
publish it online.
And
But
actually,
that doesn't reach all our,
Lawndale News is bilingual.
and actually Lawndale News has a better subscription than Suburban Life also.
okay, thank you.
Do I have 8 ayes? I didn't hear.
It was, yes. It was,
Okay,
informational, Mayor. Was it voice vote?
okay. Motion carried is informational. All those, we did it. Motion carried. Item J4, please.
Item J4 is a communication from Police Chief Semaglia regarding informational letter regarding Berwyn community-oriented policing strategies.
Make a motion that we accept this as informational.
Second.
Motion by Avila, seconded by Noack, to consider informational. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Item J5, please.
J5 is a communication from Public Works Director Schiller regarding a draft water service line replacement program.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept Director Schiller's communication regarding the draft water service line replacement program that will be discussed on March 9th council meeting.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Avila, by Ruiz, seconded by Fate, to accept the communication as informational and discuss at the March 9th City Council meeting. Alderman Santoy, you got a copy of this?
Yes, I do have it. I'm looking at it. I will have some comments.
Yeah, because this was your program, so we want to make sure that you're aware of it.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The consent agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Several times now, we've had, the collector's office has not submitted for, so K3. I'm just wondering if they're not going to submit, or should we not, in fact, have a slot for them for the consent agenda?
Finance Director Dace, do you know?
So K3, at least in this agenda, is from the collector's office, a report, but they've not submitted for this meeting or for several of the previous meetings. It's just a blank slot, and so should we expect something from them, or should we remove it from the agenda entirely?
Let me look into it now.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Alderman and committee meetings?
Call the
Alderman
chair.
Lennon? Alderman Rares?
Walter?
Alderman Reardon?
There will be a award meeting tomorrow, postponed from last week, on the Zoom. Call the chair.
Alderman Fate?
Call the chair.
Alderman Santoy?
Call the chair.
Alderman Ruiz?
Call the chair.
Alderman Avila.
Alderman Chair.
Before I do Alderman Nowak, I want to announce again, I think we should do it for the record, the public hearing on the proposed 2021 appropriation ordinance, March 9th at 6:30. Alderman Nowak.
Call the chair, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Nowak, seconded by Ruiz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.